everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Pink Ribbon Roller Coaster. My name is Jennifer Harrod, and I am joined today by Leslie Ferris Yerger, and she is with My Density Matters. And she's going to share just a little bit today about really what breast density is, why it's important, and also a little bit about her story. So, Leslie, if you don't mind, just jump right in and tell us really what breast density is.
Will do. And thank you so much for having me. So, our breast density is really it's really pretty simple. Our breasts are made up of two things, very simply stated. One is fat, and the other one is fiboglandular tissue. And so, the more fiboglandular tissue that you have relative to the fat in your breast is declares your amount of breast density that you have.
Okay.
And the reason that that is a problem or something that we all need to know about is that the density on a mammogram, that's your fibroglandular tissue, shows up white on a mammogram. The fat shows up black or like a dark gray on the mammogram.
Oh, okay.
But what else also shows up as white?
Cancer.
Breast cancer. And so the more density, the more that fibroglandular tissue you have relative to the fat in your breasts, the less likely it is that a mammogram will be able to detect that breast cancer. And so, what adds insult to injury about this also is that not only does that make it harder to find, but women with dense breasts have a higher likelihood of getting breast cancer in the first place. The higher your density, the higher your likelihood. And so it's kind of a double whammy. It's the 1-2, right? Can't see it very well, also higher risk. And this is why we advocate women who, even average risk women who have breast density, get additional screening to find that cancer that you're number one, more likely to have, and number two, may be hard to see.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell.
Wow. And so it is very important for women really to know what their density score is.
Absolutely. And the way you find that is to get a mammogram.
Okay.
So we say, sometimes that, a mammogram isn't enough for you, but you must get it in order to find out what your density is. So get those mammograms and don't skip. But after your mammogram, go into your chart. We have a program called Check Your Chart.
Wow.
And all it really does is it's a page on our website. I'll provide you the link. I'll provide everybody the link. And it explains to you how to go into your portal and what to look for in your mammogram report. So there'll be certain language that we tell you to look for. It's either a fatty breast density, which means you don't really have much density. Scattered fiboglandular tissue, that means you have a little bit of density. Those two categories, also called A and B, are not considered dense. But if you have C and D, which is heterogeneously dense or extremely dense, you're considered dense. So we educate the patient about what to look for in that mammogram report, and then also look at the bottom and see if the radiologist recommends additional screening. Sometimes at the top of our mammogram report, it'll say no mammographical evidence of cancer found. That
Mhm.
means your mammogram was clean, right? And
Right.
that's what we all want to see, right? Don't you want to see that? Of course, right? That's why we get it, that, because to know we don't have cancer. We read it across the top and we never read further down.
Mm-hmm. That's
We find
exactly.
out our density and to maybe even see a recommendation from the radiologist that you may never see and your doctor may not see because they're looking for that phrase at the top too. And it can be missed. We see this happening all the time. So check your chart, read all the way down, know your density, and then advocate for yourself for additional screening if you're a C or D person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And Leslie, so this is important not only for people getting a mammogram to know, but also for our breast cancer survivors as well, isn't it? To know their breast density.
Absolutely. Because many of our survivors still have breast tissue left. I mean, you may have gotten just a partial or, lumpectomy or a single mastectomy. So there's still breast tissue there to be assessed. And 71% of women who get breast cancer have dense breasts.
Wow.
So the likelihood that our survivors have breast density is, 71%.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely. That's very, very important for surveillance and follow up. Also, since anyone's had breast cancer to begin with, you're automatically at high risk,
Yeah.
right? For recurrence. And so, yes, additional screening should be done for our survivors. And what we find is a lot of times it's not being done.
Yeah.
So that's another way that we need to advocate for ourselves if we're survivors and we have breast tissue left is
Mhm.
to get that follow-up mammogram or whatever it is your doctor prescribes. Hopefully they're automatically prescribing you more so that we don't have to advocate. They should be. But we may have to advocate for ourselves again. And if we have density and we're a survivor, we need to be talking to our doctors about what else, for sure. Yes.
And I know on your website there's some great resources on there too that give other options for screening and talk about other options for screening as well, additional screening.
Yes, there are options out there. There's no one right or wrong. There's really no best
Uh-huh.
because it depends on your individual situation. It
Right.
depends on where you are. It depends on what your insurance will cover. It depends on what options are available to you where you live. So we don't say that you should get one, two, three, or four specifically. We just say these are the options that are out there and know about them, explore them, and talk to your doctor.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
So really, what do you mind sharing your story with us, and then really what brought you to create My Density Matter?
All right. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So, over 8 years ago now,
Wow.
I was diagnosed with stage four.
8 years ago. Wow.
Stage four breast cancer 8 years ago. Lobular,
Wow.
which is notoriously difficult to see on mammograms and ultrasounds. So, I
Yeah.
was diagnosed with stage four 2 months after an all clear mammogram and ultrasound.
Oh my goodness.
Shock of my life. And it was an incidental finding because I just had the clear mammogram and ultrasound. And everybody was like, well, it's not breast cancer then.
Right.
Okay. So my doctor, I was 55 then, and my doctor prescribed a DEXA scan. That's just a bone density scan, just to kind of see where my bone density was so that
Right.
we would know later on as a, menopausal woman or postmenopausal woman, am I losing bone or not? Because we can and we often do as older women. So just to keep tabs on that. And I thought, well, gosh, that just makes a lot of sense. So I did
Yes.
that. Wasn't feeling bad. I was just doing my thing that I was supposed to do for regular checkups. I followed his advice. I got this DEXA scan. And the radiologist was like, well, the density's fine, but there are some big issues in those bones. They could see it in the DEXA scan. DEXA scan is not a breast cancer screening tool. It's not
No.
any kind of a cancer tool. But he could see that there was bad news in there. So then I got an X-ray and then I got a CT scan. That didn't see anything. It saw the breast density, but it didn't see anything else. And then I got two tests for multiple myeloma because it kind of looked like multiple myeloma in my bones. And then ultimately they were like, well, we don't know. So we need to do a bone biopsy. So I got a bone biopsy. And then it came back metastatic breast cancer.
Oh my goodness.
And, like shock of my life. I had no idea. I
Right.
didn't know anything about density. I didn't know. I just thought I was doing what I was supposed to do, which is the situation that most women are in.
Hmm.
And so, long story short, that's why I formed My Density Matters.
Yeah,
because this should not be happening.
I agree.
And it does continue to happen even now. But I will say, 8 years ago compared to now, the conversation about breast density is out there. Um,
Thanks.
Not just because of us. I mean, I think we've helped, but a lot of other people are talking about it too. I'm glad. Let's all talk about it ad
Yeah,
nauseum until we fix the problem, right?
I
Um,
agree.
so we empower women to find out their breast density and learn their additional screening options and advocate for themselves. That's all we do. So, there's a lot of bright, shiny pennies out there, as you well know, in the breast cancer space. Oh, we could do this or we could do that, right? No,
Right.
we try to stick to our mission,
Yes.
and our vision is a world where breast density no longer hinders the early diagnosis of breast cancer. So that's when my density matters in its current state,
Mhm.
will be done. We will have achieved the vision. I do think we will get there at some point. I don't think we're so close right now, but I think that we will get there. And so
That's
that's the story. That's why I do what I do, and that's really the only reason. And I'm telling you what, the achievement of that vision cannot come fast enough. I
mm,
don't need to do this for the rest of my life, but I need this problem solved.
yeah, yeah.
That's the driver. That's what drives me. I want this done and over so that,
Mhm.
we need to be finding our cancer. Early detection saves lives. I mean, that's always been the case, right? Of any cancer. And, we're not finding it early a lot of times because of density. And people are dying because of it.
Yeah, I
They're-
agree.
So that's really it.
What an amazing story. And it's given you really the motivation and the drive to help others by forming this group. And it's such an amazing group. And I think
Thank you.
ladies,
We try all different ways. We aren't perfect, but we're out there trying to get the message out in multiple ways.
that's,
Because that's how the world takes information in, not all in one way, right? Some people are social media, some people need to hear it in person, some people
mm,
listen to a podcast, so
yeah,
we're doing it all as much as we possibly can.
that's great. So, ladies that are listening, please find out your breast density. Share this video with not only your family, but your friends, your coworkers, your whole community, and let them know about My Density Matters because it does.
Yeah.
Um, and Leslie, I know I've heard that you have an exciting event, a day coming up. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about that?
No, we are 4.5 years old. I'm getting a little closer to 5 now, and we've been doing something called Find Out My Breast Density Day in February for actually longer than we have been a not-for-profit. We did
Oh,
it the first year, we weren't even a not-for-profit. We were just out there trying to spread the message. And so
yes.
basically what it is the day in February that we choose, and we always kind of choose a different theme in a different way, but it always involves partners and other organizations to
Okay.
help us share the message, and then hopefully they can get something out of it too. Partnership is always a two-way street. So this year, we are sharing breast density resources, but then for all of our partners who want to participate, we're going to have a page where their resource that they want to share is on there too. So people will go to the page, they'll look at all the breast density resources that they want, but then on there also will be other organizations, resources. So, it's a way to have information sharing with
Right.
all the people that we collaborate with. We're very collaborative. We want everyone to thrive, and if I can help you, you can help me. That's the way it works. And so, there's so many great resources out there. There are, support groups like your organization. There are people pushing people to try to get into clinical trials. I mean, all kinds of things, right? And everybody needs to know those depending upon their situation. So it's kind of like an online resource fair with
Right.
anybody else who wants to collaborate in this way on this day with us. And we'll also post that we just have a very convenient form where people can fill out, and then you're in. So we'll post that form if we can, along with when you publish this, and so that people can have access to that and join us if they'd like. So they can join us as a partner, or they can just participate and go see the resources.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
February 18th. I forgot to say what day it was, didn't I? February 18th, Wednesday, February 18th.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. So we need to see Project 31 on the site as well.
Oh, we'll make it happen. We certainly will.
Oh, wow. Some exciting things.
Yeah.
Wonderful resources and education that you offer. Um, any other parting words that you would like to say to our ladies or help educate them?
Um, no, just advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
If you feel like there's something wrong, if you've got a gut about something, whether it be breast cancer, I mean, that's what we're talking about right now, but I mean, anything. Like, we know things, we know our bodies. And
Mhm.
if we really think that we need additional screening, don't back down. Don't take no for an answer. If you've got a doctor who's not listening to you, find another one.
That's
Somebody will, you know?
that's great.
Because women's health has been put on the back burner for a very long time, and
I
it
agree.
needs to stop. And so we all need to stop allowing it,
Yes,
right? And we can start with ourselves.
I agree.
We can start with ourselves. And I imagine if everybody did that, what a difference it would make, not only for the individual doing it, but for us collaboratively as women as a whole.
I agree.
And so I think, you know what? What's the saying that people use? Oh, charity starts at home. Um, take care of yourself, right? What you're doing is really for yourself, but it's also to show the way, to pave the path for other people to more easily do the same thing.
I agree. Well said. And I
Thank you.
mean, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others.
I think it's that whole, mask in the airplane thing,
Yes.
the oxygen. And it really is true, and it's true in this case as well. Women run the world in a lot of ways, not in every way, but we make things happen. And
Yes.
in our absence, sometimes things really fall apart. And so, we need to be there for those that need us, but we have to take care of ourselves in order to be able to do that. And so that's the one thing that I would say is, in this particular case, find out your breast density, okay? And then know what it is, and then advocate for yourself for additional screening if you need it. And that's really it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Leslie, so much for being here, speaking with our community, educating us, sharing about My Density Matters. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Always just go to the website and have a look around. If anybody has a question, there's an inquiry, form that you can fill out. And we're happy to share our message with your audience and beyond. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for everybody for tuning in today and joining us on Pink Ribbon Roller Coaster. Until next time.